Audio Jungle.
As rumors grow that Prince Harry and wife Meghan are preparing to visit the UK, former royal butler Paul Burrell reveals the depths of the frosty reception that awaits them and why Prince William and Kate hold the cards to their future with the firm. Their relationship with the royal family has been fractured since they left for America, with a spate of interviews and bombshell claims creating increasing hostility between them. However, reports last week claimed that Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle were gearing up to return to the UK, and had even requested a meeting with the Queen. And as it had been previously reported that the couple had wanted their 3-month-old daughter Lilibet to be christened at Windsor, fans speculated on social media as to whether the couple were plotting a christening during the rumored visit. While Harry, who turns 37 this week, has been back twice this year, the potential UK trip would be the first for Meghan, 40, since she left in March 2020 to set up home in LA, where she, Harry, son Archie, 2, and Lilibet now live. The pair's popularity has plummeted since their departure, with polls earlier this month revealing it was at its lowest ever, and a clip from their Oprah interview being booed when it was played at last week's National Television Awards. The visit would see Meghan come face-to-face with the royals for the first time since she scandalously accused a royal of racism in her infamous interview with Oprah in March this year, as well as insisting that her cries for help about her mental health went unanswered by the firm. Harry has also criticized his family in a podcast with Dax Shepard, where he blasted his father's parenting, saying that Prince Charles had made him suffer like he had growing up. In the documentary The Me You Can't See, Harry said there were efforts from the firm and the media to smear Meghan. The recent re-release of the couple's biography Finding Freedom has added fuel to the fire, and fans were left open-mouthed last month when it emerged that Harry will release a tell-all memoir next year, with no doubt even more secrets about life behind palace walls. While it's unclear when Meghan and Harry will return, with the Queen due to stay at her beloved Balmoral Castle in Scotland until October, Paul Burrell, who worked for both the Queen and Princess Diana as a butler for a decade, tells Closer that a meeting is inevitable, either later this year or at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations next summer. And he believes the Queen would welcome them back, but warns they could struggle to win over Prince Charles. Besides, Prince Harry will meet with the First Lady Dr. Jill Biden tonight in a virtual event marking the annual Warrior Games, amid rumors Meghan Markle could run for president. The Duke of Sussex will honor Warrior Games athletes, their families, and caregivers after the 2021 U.S. event was postponed due to COVID. He and Jill Biden will be joined by Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Ken Fisher, Chairman and CEO of Fisher House Foundation tonight at 6 p.m. ET, 11 p.m. GMT, the White House said in a statement. It will be Harry's first event with Dr. Jill since she became First Lady and since he and Meghan moved to the United States. The Duchess of Sussex, however, was not included in the list of participants for Monday's event, some weeks after her biographer said she could run for president in the United States within the next 10 years. Ahead of her 40th birthday last month, author Tom Bauer said, "And what about the next 40 years? Once Harry has finished promoting his books, will Meghan launch her own global campaign to engage in the swirling muck of American politics?" He added that Meghan could use her high-profile connections to fuel her political dreams. With the support of Democrat godfathers the Clintons and the Obamas, Meghan should have little difficulty getting Negation nominated as one of the state's 40 congressmen sent to Washington, Bauer wrote. If Californians flock to her Negation crusade for goodness, then after 2 terms, just 4 years, she can establish her political roots. After that, fate would take over. If one of the state's 2 Senate seats comes free and she has Negation mastered the trade, a mixed-race woman should be a strong runner. She could also run for the state's governorship, one of Negation America's most prestigious offices. And these steps could lead to her running for the U.S. presidency, Bauer said. At the end of 10 years, the prime of a politician's life, her record could well justify a bid for the Democrat nomination for the presidency, he wrote. Meghan's close political ties include Jill Biden, who Harry first met at a reception for British and U.S. wounded warriors in Washington, when Joe was serving as Barack Obama's vice president. Since then, Harry and Jill have met up on a number of occasions, with her even coming over to London to support the Royals' Invictus Games. The pair are understood to have bonded over their military ties, with Jill's stepson Beau, a former Army major, tragically passing away in 2015 from brain cancer. In 2014, Jill traveled to London for Harry's inaugural Invictus Games, where they were pictured smiling together during several of the events. Joe Biden joked he was a little worried about how much time Harry and Jill were spending together, something the then vice president repeated in 2016 when his wife met the prince at the games in Orlando. Jill went to London for the last games. "She spent too much damn time with Prince Harry," he said. The Bidens later attended the Games in Toronto in 2017, the same year that Harry stepped out in public with Meghan for the first time. The Department of Defense Warrior Games is an annual event, first held in 2010, that celebrates the resiliency of wounded, ill, and injured active duty and veteran U.S. military service members. This year's games were cancelled due to COVID, but were due to start this week in Orlando, Florida. Prince Harry, who served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan during his decade of military service, first attended the Games in 2013 in Colorado and set up the Invictus Games for Wounded Warriors a year later. The 2 games share a deep bond, Jill's office said. Dr. Biden previously said, "I've done a lot with the Invictus Games and walking with the wounded. Joe and I met with them. So there's so many connections, and that's why it was important to hear their stories and to hear how they've triumphed."